Saturn in Pisces. So Saturn moved into the sign of Pisces before it was in the sign of Aquarius. And this has been a big deal because Pluto moving into Aquarius with Saturn moving into Pisces is just going to bring along more revolutionary events and themes to the coming years. But I specifically wanted to cover mainly the Saturn retrograde in Pisces that's going to be happening here. That's going to happen June 17th, so that's coming up. And basically, it'll be a time to, well, it depends on where it's falling in your chart. So, and also what Pisces themes you have in your life. Hold on a second. First, I want to go over what it means when Saturn moves into the sign of Pisces. So Saturn in Pisces is known to have a hard time committing to a situation. The reason being is that Pisces is known to be the dreamer, the one that is stuck in the ethers, very imaginative, but it's, they're like the lover, not the fighter type of sign energy. They don't have much structure though because of that. So because this zodiac sign represents the water at its purest, most raw form, and that is not perfect, right? When it's pure and raw, it's not going to have a perfect picture or whatever. When Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, it wants to create the structure that this sign lacks without pushing it too far because, well, Pisces are sensitive, very emotional, and so are Cancers and Scorpio, but Scorpio is just more like tough exterior. I feel tons of emotion, but I dare not show any. Okay, so therefore we can expect to experience moments of certainty in which we feel aligned with our karmic destiny. So what's super interesting is that this Saturn retrograde would almost take the heaviness off of the Pisces energy sign. I say energy like 1,000 times. It gives a break for whatever karmic situation you're in, or a difficult situation, if that made any sense at all. This also signifies a happy time. Wasn't expecting to find that out, but a happy time in which we may feel like we are on the right path. In the ancient practice of tarot, Saturn in Pisces is represented by the 10 of Cups. This means that there is a symbiotic element of joy, prosperity, protection, familial abundance, and emotional energy that aligns with the correlating astrological events. So during the time that Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, Mars in Virgo will oppose the Saturn retrograde on July 20th. At that time, we will be fighting against authority or even the patriarchy. No one will want to have their views repressed. In fact, everyone wants to speak their minds without having any opposition to their views. So be careful under this transit, as it can encourage and increase frustrations with like management, authority figures, and whatnot. If you're having issues at your job, you may be inclined to speak up now, which is not a good idea just because it could lead into bigger issues. Mercury in Virgo. Anywho, Mercury in Virgo opposes Saturn retrograde on August 1st. This is a moment in which we may have conflicts with those we care about. And before we speak our minds, it's important that we really listen to what others have to say. So don't jump to conclusions. Don't be impulsive. Then Virgo Sun opposes the Saturn retrograde on August 27th. So this transit can influence our confidence. We could feel like the world has forgotten about us and that we are being ignored by those we care about. Just remember that the true power lies within our own selves, and this is a wake-up call to work on our self-esteem. Other effects or other things from this Saturn retrograde in Pisces: it could be challenging due to a Saturn being in a social planet. Obviously, Pisces, even though they are secluded, but they're also social. They're just, it depends. Like, there's different types of Pisces out there. Saturn's retrograde transits affect everyone. It depends on whether the individual is ready to elevate in their life. So most beneficial for times of a life change, to bettering ourselves, to kind of making the deeper traumas that we might hold within our subconscious, we're forced to look into those things around this time. Basically, I'm trying to come up with the best way to explain this for the collective. But regardless, the most intense effects will be felt for signs like Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and obviously Pisces. I mean, Saturn is in Pisces. So all the mutable signs. So Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, all mutable. These zodiac signs will be receiving a big time punch of seriousness, a punch to grow up. So just look at wherever Pisces lands in your chart. Everyone has Pisces somewhere in their chart. If you look up your natal chart, it'll have all the cusps and cusps. Every sign will fall somewhere in, one of your houses, even if there's no planets there, even if it doesn't really show up prominently in your birth chart, it's going to be somewhere. So just look at where it's at. People that are lucky enough to not have big Pisces placements, it won't be that big for them, but the ones that have big Pisces placements, it's going to be a doozy. It's going to be big for them. So just be aware. Growing up is not fun. It never was, never will be, but it is required. It is part of life. Some kids still choose to not grow up, but that will lead them to a road of nowhere. And that's all I wanted to say. So there's some banging noises, so I should probably go. All right, bye.